Now on Denver 7 News, student loan forgiveness is finally here. We're breaking down how the president's plan benefits Coloradans.
A growing number of primary care clinics are taking their practices private. How they say this cash pay system is saving both the clinics and their patients money while improving care. And unemployment claims have been going up recently at the exact same time more available jobs are being posted. We're getting answers on why and where the job market could be headed.
Thank you for joining us for Denver 7 News at 4. I'm Micah Smith. President Joe Biden announced a plan today to cancel student loan debt for millions of Americans. Let's take a look at how it all works. The plan applies to all federal loan borrowers who make less than $125,000 per year. Everyone who qualifies under that will have at least $10,000 forgiven. If you received a Pell Grant, that amount goes up to $20,000.
People can finally crawl out from under that mountain of debt, to get on top of their rent and their utilities, to finally think about buying a home or starting a family or starting a business.
The president will extend the current pause on repayment plans until December 31st. And for those with payment plans tied to their income, the president plans to cut the minimum payment required in half. Currently, those plans require 10% of income. Now that's been lowered to 5%. We want to go deeper now and see how this affects us here in Colorado. StudentLoanHero.com broke it down. They say nearly a third of borrowers in our state will now have their entire debt eliminated. Those with loans remaining would owe less than a third of their current totals. So who will benefit most from this forgiveness plan? The answer: Black women. According to data from the American Association of University Women, women borrow on average $2,000 more compared to men. Black women borrowed the most, taking out on average more than $41,000 to pay for college. Kyle Southern with the Institute for College Access says eliminating some of that debt can have a real effect on advancing racial equity.
More and more people of color have taken on more and more student debt. And so at every level, we find how that makes it even more difficult to achieve financial stability and to start to grow wealth. And so higher education is supposed to be the engine for opportunity, and too often it's functioned to only perpetuate the inequalities we see so often in society.
Before it was announced today, the president of the NAACP slammed the loan forgiveness plan. He says $10,000 is not enough, especially for Black Americans. The group says the president needs to cancel at least $50,000. We talked to a loans expert about what you should do now about your student loans. The best approach might just be wait and see. That's because the Biden administration is also extending a pause on repayments. Now, this will give you time to figure out what this will mean for the type of loans you have.
Refamiliarize yourself with your student loans. Be sure you know what you owe. Be sure you know what your potential payment would be. And then, sit down and budget based on that information. For example, in Colorado, the average student loan payment is about $307 a month. So, that can be a pretty significant chunk of change for a lot of people.
You might be wondering if the $10,000 in loan forgiveness would be considered taxable income. Well, we checked, and the American Rescue Plan includes a provision making nearly all student loan forgiveness tax-free. That's at least temporarily. We have plenty more coverage on the president's student loan forgiveness plan. You can find the latest updates on air on thedenverchannel.com and on the Denver 7 Plus app. Stealing people's food money. Contact Denver 7 is looking into a growing crime trend in Colorado that targets our most vulnerable. Bonita Hughes has MS and is on state food benefits to support her family, buying groceries with an EBT debit card. This month, she noticed someone was making large purchases on her account from other states, and it wasn't hers. She soon learned her card had been skimmed, and unlike debit or credit cards, federal law does not allow that money to be refunded.
How much money did they steal?
A total of $4,233.76 to the T. That's money I used to feed my kids.
Contact Denver 7 has learned this is a widespread problem in Colorado, with $177,000 in food benefits stolen since October of last year. The state is taking action, including blocking transactions to certain states, but advocates say the federal government needs to take further action to protect people from losing their food budgets. what they propose. We'll have that tonight at 6. The Target store in Superior is opening a week from today, 8 months after being damaged in the Marshall fire. Now, this is video of the smoke and wind from outside the store the day of the fire. Superior Mayor Clint Folsom posted on Facebook saying the roof caught fire, causing the sprinklers inside to go off. The sprinklers malfunctioned and didn't turn off for several days, flooding the store.
New federal rules putting restrictions on ghost guns go into effect today after a federal judge decided not to block them. The guns are put together with parts sold online and have been hard to track until now. The new rules require all parts used to make ghost guns have a serial number on them. People buying them will also now have to get a background check.
Yes, some production will continue. Yes, some of that production will be illegal, but production at large volume, I think, is going to become very difficult. And easy to detect because somebody's spending money to buy that equipment.
Dr. Garen Wintemute researches gun violence prevention. He says the new rules will basically make it harder to own a gun that no one knows about. His research has shown ghost guns aren't just attractive to people looking to commit a crime, but also attract those considering political violence. Now, federal data shows the number of ghost guns recovered at crime scenes went up 1,000% between 2016 and 2021.
So I think what we're going to see, not right away, but predictably over time, is an increase in the use of guns with serial numbers in crimes. And those guns can be traced, and that's going to make it easier to solve the crimes.
A handful of states, including California, regulated ghost guns before today. But Wintemute says enforcement has been a challenge without a federal rule to back it up. Ghost gun supporters say the rules are going to discourage law-abiding citizens who make the guns as a hobby. The ATF is tasked with enforcing the new rules. It's facing lawsuits saying the rules violate the agency's authority. The newsfeed starts with Moderna joining Pfizer in submitting an application to the FDA for emergency use authorization for its updated COVID-19 booster to target Omicron. The new booster is for those 18 and older. Moderna is currently doing a clinical trial on the shots. Meanwhile, the federal government is preparing a COVID-19 booster campaign to launch as early as next month. The White House has already bought millions of doses of updated vaccines. Health regulators still have to give them the green light, though. Exercising could protect you from COVID and even prevent infection. That's according to a new report published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Getting in at least 75 minutes of intense movement or 150 minutes of moderate exercise can lessen your chances of being hospitalized from the virus by 36%. Well, the U.S. is sending its biggest aid package to Ukraine so far, worth about $3 billion. The money announced today will go toward weapons, surveillance, drones, and training for Ukrainians. It's geared toward longer-term support rather than immediate needs. Russia's war in Ukraine hit the 6-month mark today. The number of unemployment claims and available jobs is increasing at the exact same time. We're getting answers about what's behind the disconnect.
Plus, a group of Colorado men are putting their retirement to good use. See how they're using their mechanical skills to help hundreds of people in need.